Get promos and discounts from Filipino startups. Check out our partners at the description. Supafaya is a marketplace where consumers can buy and sell authentic collectibles. Supafaya verifies each item and facilitates transactions with a secure, easy checkout and delivery process. Supafaya initially focuses on a curated selection of trending, sought-after sneakers and will soon expand to more categories. Owen Cuales is founder at Supafaya. So hello, Owen. Welcome to Startup Podcast. We're very happy to have you.
Hello, Jenny. Thank you so much. And hello to everyone watching.
Yes, I'm actually very excited now to learn more about you and Supafaya. So it's like a platform for sneakers, but I think you're also expanding to more categories. So ano nga ba ang Supafaya? I'll have you tell more about it, Owen.
Yeah, so Supafaya is, like what you said, is a marketplace for collectibles. But what we really see ourselves as is a stock market for physical things. So essentially, we allow users to buy, sell, trade, and invest in physical things like sneakers, collectibles, watches, apparel, and more, just like how you would in a stock market.
Oh, that's interesting. Biglang naging interesting ang
Mm.
kasi so I'll have to say din na ang Supafaya is actually one of a part of the cohort ng Founders Launchpad, and I think nung unang um you can tell me more about this no in later pero yung unang description ni Supafy is like a marketplace for a curated selection of sneakers. Actually, parang you're starting with sneakers So maybe ayun din yung story ni Supafy as a startup. You started with sneakers and then like to a larger marketplace, and now yung stock market idea nito, yung concept na ito but ayun nga, susundan natin yung story para din mas ma-appreciate ng ating mga listeners yung story behind Supafy. So simulan natin sa sneakers and Supafaya being a marketplace for collectibles So tell me more about sneakers. Ako kasi actually, to be honest, wala akong sneakers. Um I'm not I mean I'm not like into collecting shoes meron lang ako parang 2 pairs of shoes pero rubber shoes actually for running. Pero can you tell about this niche? Can you tell more about sneakers like this collectibles and yung community? This is actually a big community. I know actually na maraming taong nagko-collect ng sneakers, nagko-collect ng ganitong klaseng collectibles. And how about you? Are you also a sneakers collector? So can you give a picture now about like this community and the sneakers world, kumbaga?
Okay. I mean, thank you so much. I guess let's break it down a bit. So, with regards to sneakers, muna, I guess why we're approaching it this way as a stock market for things is because if you look at sneakers as an asset class or like an industry, right? There are two sides. So, first of all, there are general releases, meaning to say these are sneakers na may sobrang daming supply. Essentially, you can buy them in malls, diba? But then the second part there is that there are sneakers which are limited releases. So essentially, may
Yeah.
limited lang na value, diba? I mean, may limited na amount. So, I mean, as economics would put it, diba? If there's a low amount of supply, there's a big amount of demand. There's a secondary market that has to cater to these things, diba?
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess that's where we're really positioning ourselves in. We're really catering towards yung limited release na sneakers, wherein the Philippines as a market has to have its own stock market for physical things, because other countries already have their own, but the pricing varies country per country, and that's why we're establishing
Mm,
like the Philippines' own stock market for things.
yes, actually gets. It's like a market for collectibles I mean, like in the Web3 space, meron na ngang market for NFTs. I mean,
Mm.
some NFTs are like collectibles. And
Mm.
actually, very rightful lang na merong market for physical collectibles. And actually, mas nauna pa nga yung mga taong, I mean, sobrang tagal na may mga taong nangongolekta ng sneakers. And as in, you said, merong mga limited edition collectibles. And itong mga sneakers na to, umaangat yung presyo niya kasi minsan siya na lang yung may ganong klase sneakers or onting tao lang yung may ganong sneakers. And it's parang no, like yung stock market version nito, it's parang sometimes you can buy low and sell high. So can you share more Can you expand more on that on the Supafaya marketplace? So how exactly does the marketplace work? How exactly does the platform work? For example, ako, how can I buy a pair of sneakers there and how can I sell? And can I see the prices ba? How can I negotiate the prices, etc., etc. So, can you tell lang parang how this platform works?
Right. So actually, our marketplace functions the same way as a traditional marketplace, right? So you can buy and sell the same way, like you would in another marketplace. But I guess what makes us different is that we added an extra layer for collectors turned investors. So essentially, we have those, right? So when you go to the stock market, may mga price stickers siya. So parang may, let's say 5% increase today, or like minus 3% decrease from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
value today. We added those features, and we also have
Oh,
charts and bids and asks. So you'd be able to
oh,
see yung historical value ng isang sneaker, and then
oh.
you'd be able to place bids. So let's say, I want, let's say, the Jordan 1 Startup PH podcast collaboration, right? If I want that, I can place a bid for, let's say, I'm only interested in buying it for 10,000, right? So I can place a bid for 10,000, and it's up to a seller if they want to
Yeah,
sell it to you at 10,000.
yeah, yeah. Okay, amazing. So it's really like a stock market, ano? I mean, that's how actually a stock market works. Yung may bid, may selling price and then may bidding price and then nag-meet up siya minsan sa gitna. Kasi with the stock market na parang very big, no? Ang dami kasing mga tao, ang daming forces kaya medyo mas mabilis nag-meet sa gitna.
Yep.
I'm imagining ang difference somehow ni sneakers market, ni collectibles market. Correct me if I'm wrong, Owen. First, yung volume ng mga tao, siguro medyo, I think medyo less naman talaga compared like with the traditional stock market. And
Mhm.
second, hindi ba parang madaming sneakers. So lahat ng bawat kind ng bawat type or bawat edition ng sneakers ay may sariling price, or is this by item ba, or is this by parang by type nga, by version or something? Yeah, can you tell me more about that?
Yeah. So actually, each specific sneaker has its own price, and
Oh,
so it's really like a stock market. Um, what's even more interesting about this actually is the reason why it's so interesting as an asset class is because this asset class, you don't really need technical knowledge to be able to buy and sell. That's why the community, I guess tying to your first question, that's why the community, when it comes to sneakers or collectibles, is so diverse, diba? You don't need to have technical analysis, fundamental analysis, or other technicalities, diba? Um, with sneakers, anyone can buy and sell. So you'd be able to see mga 15-year-old na nag-hustle, and you're gonna be able to see like people who are working and then side ano lang nila, side hobby, side interest lang nila to buy and sell sneakers. And so I guess that's one of the interesting things na we see with this quote unquote asset class is that yun nga, you don't need the technical knowledge as opposed to the others na you kind of do. I mean, I come from an equities and venture capital background, so I think I'm fairly knowledgeable in that area. Pero yun nga, what I'm saying is this industry is like way more beginner friendly. Parang nakita namin siya na
yeah.
essentially gateway before you step into those more complex things. Kasi when you buy and sell sneakers, physical things, at the end of the day, let's say if bumaba yung price, at the end of the day, you can still wear them, diba?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the biggest benefits.
Actually, yeah, buti minention mo yung term na asset class, ano. Come to think of it, like comparing lang to our other, kumbaga, assets, like maybe some commodities, gold, silver, or mga wood, whatever, and then currency, Philippine peso, USD, or even cryptocurrency.
Mm.
Si sneakers, for example, very basic, may utility siya, pwede mo siyang suotin, ano, pwede mo siyang ipanglakad, ipanglabas. And second, yung supply and demand, so of course, yung factor nun, especially for collectors. And third, actually, may parang ano rin dito, may factor din ng some sneakers may be parang in the demand side. Parang, I'm not sure with the term kasi with sneakers, parang yung aesthetic value niya or yung beauty value niya or yung rarity value niya maybe, ano.
Yep.
So, yun yung mga factors na to na magbabago-bago ng prices niya. And ito yung mga dapat malaman ng mga taong willing to, kumbaga, to hustle dito sa marketplace na ito. Itong mga medyo iba yung analysis niya, hindi ito parang with gold or with silver
Yep.
or even with other things, ano, or even with currency. So it's a different point of view na kailangang alam ng tao. So maybe ako medyo onti lang kasi alam ko sa sneakers, but maybe I have to learn more about yung paano ba binavalue ng ibang tao yung sneakers na yan, paano ba like ano kaya yung mafo-foresee ko na aangat yung price in the future or something. Now, dun sa description ninyo, meron ding item verification and doon tayo sa item verification. So, actually true din ito, no? I mean, just a side comment lang. Uso kasi yung mga class A, mga
Yeah.
I'm not sure with my turn, pero I mean, how do you kumbaga guarantee din yung parang yung originality nung mga items na kay Supafaya?
Yeah. So thank you for that. And I guess short background lang around item verification. I guess since we're trying to operate like a stock market, diba? It doesn't make sense naman, for example, bumili ka sa stock market ng PLDT, tapos yung na-receive mo pala is fake PLDT shares, right? So I guess this is where we start to act like a stock market talaga. Wherein when you buy an item through us, we authenticate every item through our 50 data point authentication system. And so, para when you buy an item, you're sure na what you're receiving is authentic. So,
And by the way, for the buyer, so anyone can buy, right? How about for the seller? So can anyone like put their sneakers, their collectible, their item there in the marketplace? Parang anyone can, first with the sellers, anyone can post there. Anyone can like register their item kay Supafaya to be traded in the market. And second, can anyone buy or do they have to make an account? Do they have to undergo some verification, some KYC for example? So can you tell lang paano ba mag-participate ang mga tao dito sa marketplace na ito?
yeah. So when you buy on Supafaya, you have to undergo like a very basic KYC process. Mainly because we have to know kung saan namin papadala yung sneakers when we
sabagay.
and then for sellers, well, what we try to do is make it as frictionless as possible. So even if you don't do KYCs as a start as a seller, you're able to put up one active listing at a time. But then if you want to increase that to more amounts, then you have to undergo a more stringent KYC process. Yeah.
I see. And by the way, so hindi kayo nagki-keep ng inventory kay Supafaya or nasa inyo yung inventory, or is this like the seller keeps the inventory, they sell pag may bibili, sila magpapadala doon sa buyer, or does it have to go through Supafaya? Curious lang din.
Yeah. So all the items have to go through Supafaya. Kasi there are certain things na we can't authenticate through picture lang or through phone. So we have to do the extra work of actually manually inspecting the items. So they will have to go through Supafaya first.
Yeah, okay. Now it all makes sense. Actually, I have to say na ang first of all, ang ganda ng idea na like putting the stock market concept into this kind of collectible sneakers. Hindi ako sure kung like sa ibang collectibles ba meron na rin ganitong stock market type or ganitong klaseng platform sa Pilipinas. Maybe sa ibang bansa meron. I'm not sure sa Philippines. Maybe second, true yung sinabi mo no na if it can also be like a hassle. It can also be like a way to trade and to kumbaga to earn some money for yourself, especially if natutunan mo na yung skills, natutunan mo na yung galawan kumbaga dito sa market na ito. Ay, fast lang pala Supafaya. Saan galing ang name na Supafaya? I think it's very interesting din.
Right. Supafaya really came from the two words super and fire. So super fire. But we tried to make it more simpler by removing the R's and essentially just making it Supafaya. Pero parang mas nako-confuse yung mga tao ngayon kasi now they actually call us Supapaya, like the fruit. Kaya parang mali pala to put a P and then an F later. But we're trying to retain naman the Supafaya aspect, the super fire aspect.
Supafaya. But I like the name para makikita mo yung parang hip, kumbaga yung hipness dun sa name with the way you played with the letters.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go sa ilang stories behind Supafaya. So yun pala ang story behind the name Supafaya. Pero so Supafaya is a stock market type nga of a marketplace for collectibles, for sneakers. Pero let's go, kumbaga yung timeline nito, I mean yung chronological nito. Kasi marami sa mga nakikinig ang very interested sa kung paano nga ba mag-start mismo as a person, as someone who maybe graduated from college or even as a college pa lang and thought of an idea or maybe nag-work and then quit their work and went to building their own startup. So, can you share some of your background and paano talaga nagsimula si Supafaya? Paano? Kasi hindi madali eh. Hindi madali gumawa ng startup. You know that, of course. So, can
Right.
you tell about that that stories?
Yeah. So, well, I guess it really all started in college. In college, I guess first year college, I got um. Okay, so short background before that. My college course was political science. So sobrang off talaga, not technical, 'di ba? No business, ganun. More of parang can how governments lead and stuff, right? Um, but in first year college, I really got interested in investing in equities. So
Mm.
yun, that's pretty much what started it. I realized first year college na I was pretty good at it, relatively. Kasi
Mm.
I joined some competitions from
Oh.
Instagrams. So really,
Ah, wow. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Instagrams.
yeah. Tapos I placed in the top 10 into two
Oh, wow.
competitions. So I was like, oh wait, you know what? Maybe this is something na I could do. So, yun. Second year na when I really realized my passion for it na, wow, I really want to do this full time. I want to trade equities, ganun. Um, but I realized, yun nga, marami ng sunk cost. I already spent 2 years in UP, UP Political Science, diba? And you know how difficult it is naman with the UP system. Ayoko na madali kasi ang dami ng sunk cost. So, what I did na lang was I pursued it, political science during the day, but I went
Mm.
for the things that I really wanted to do during my free time. So,
Mm.
um, as you could imagine, mga uh, third year pol sci na nun, I was reviewing na for law school because my parents wanted me to take law. At Sundays, I would be in law school review. In Saturdays, I took a course called the Certified Security Specialist course, yung sa PS.
Oh.
And then, so during the day, so weekday, I had yung ACADS ko. And sa nights, sa weeknights, I studied programming. So, um, I guess that's where really all started na parang I really tried to make myself like a Swiss knife for all of these skill sets. And then straight out of college, I worked for an equities firm. I an equities, sorry, a local brokerage firm um, in Manila. So they're under the PSE. And that's where I really got into the fundamentals of equities. And yun nga, ever since naman I've been always a sneakerhead. So what I'm doing lang talaga now is combining those two passions that I really like.
Mm.
So equities and sneakers and doing it now into one thing, Supafaya. So yun, like I guess um it's really just combining the two passions that I really like.
Yeah. But it's actually amazing and it's actually inspiring I mean it's very fortunate for you din na first of all you have the hustle. Imagine that life nung when you were in college and when you're onto graduation na weekdays ACADS, weeknights you do a hustle and then weekends you also do other hustles and then ang galing actually na napaghalo mo si equity trading, something that you like and something that you maybe excel in. Sabi nga nila, 'di ba, alam mo yung ikigai, yung concept ng ikigai,
Yep.
tsaka yung love for sneakers, yung kumbaga hobby, yung passion for for sneakers into one thing. Ngayon, I want to ask lang din and bigla ako na-curious kasi ako rin mismo dati, actually ako rin nung college ako, nag-try ako mag-trade ng equity pero hindi ako magaling, hindi ako nananalo sa competitions. I mean, is it directly translatable? For example, ang equities kasi, equities trading, for example, you can buy, for example, stocks of JFC, Jollibee Foods Corporation. And si JFC kasi, sila din yung, pwede sila may two ways on how you earn in investing in equities, di ba? Either you buy low, sell high, tsaka yung dividends. Kumbaga, the equities have that quote-unquote utility. They can give you money if they perform well. I think ang difference medyo sa sneakers or sa collectibles is walang dividends. Hindi naman hindi naman
Mhm.
gumagalaw by itself yung sneakers,
Right.
ano. Pero can you give us advice lang, ano? First, advice on, siguro onting tips lang din or onting knowledge na you're very young din, pero you're excelling in equity trading, ano. So parang maybe onting advice lang or onting tips on how to trade this kind of stuff. Baka rin yung mga interested mag-hustle sa Supafaya, baka may mapulot silang mga pieces of knowledge. And second, ayun nga, so what are your thoughts on like the difference between the equity market maybe and like the sneakers or the collectibles market?
Yeah. So let's see. The first part of that question is, so when it comes to,
Equity trading.
yeah, okay. So equity trading, wait, I'm trying to formulate it properly. Um, let's see. Yeah, when it comes to equity trading, kasi I guess the competitions back then were um short lang yung time frame. So it mainly relied on technical analysis, which, depending on who you ask, could be, magic or something. Depending on who you ask, like, wala naman talagang
Yeah,
basis
yeah.
yan or something, right? Could just be like psychology. Pero in
Mm.
terms of that time frame, it's based lang talaga on technical analysis and maybe a bit of fundamentals. So what I did was, yun nga, fundamentals to basically screen out what's good and what's not, and then I use technical
Mm.
analysis for the shorter time
Mm.
frames, right?
Mm.
Um, but I don't know, I'm not that much of an expert in that area, I guess. There are a lot of people way better than me, so maybe they might be more qualified to give advice, right? But as for the differences between the sneaker market and the stock market, I guess the biggest one is what I mentioned, yeah, is that when it comes to sneakers and collectibles, you don't need the technical knowledge to be able to buy and sell into these things, right? Um, and unlike the stock market, wala siyang IPOs pa for now, although I'll be able to introduce it
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on. Yeah. There are no IPOs for now. Basically, when you buy, yung form lang talaga ng IPO right now, when it comes to sneakers is sa Nike app. So they really go,
With new
they
item.
pinaparaffle nila actually. So kunwari may yeah. So may bagong release kunwari, let's say the Jordan 1 Supafaya collaboration, right? What they do is that they put it up sa Nike, magsa-sign up ka lang using your email, phone number and everything. And then after a week siguro, you're gonna receive an email. Basically if napili ka, that's like 200 on 200% agad from your initial investment. Pag di ka napili, then no loss, 'di ba?
Mm.
Yan. So that's basically how it works. Yun yung form ng IPO sa sneaker market.
Oh. Oh, and it's actually interesting, ano, kasi itong si IPO, sige, i-ano natin ng onti, expound natin ng onti para sa mga nakikinig. So si IPO, so some company na maybe nakapag-expand na or lumaki-laki na yung and pasok na siya sa regulations to be publicly traded, they can
Mm.
offer IPO. So yun yung parang initial release ng public shares ng public stocks para ma-trade nga kay Philippine Stock Exchange, for example. And actually, maraming cases, actually iba-iba, hindi ko pa nga rin alam kung paano siya nagwo-work. I mean, in a technical analysis way, in that perspective na sometimes you will buy an IPO for let's say 10 pesos per share, for example. Bibilhin mo siya before i-release. Pwede ka kumbaga mag-subscribe, 'di ba? So bibili ka ng number of shares for 10 pesos and then yung first day niya of public sharing, very wild, 'di ba? May mga ibang
Right.
umaangat ng marami, may mga ibang bababa ng marami. So may pagka siyempre may analysis dun, may information gathering, may pagka-luck din somehow, may pagka-wild guesses din somehow. Pero ayun 'no, so maraming difference. Actually, when you think of it, maraming difference kay equity market tsaka kay collectibles market. Pero at the end of the day, it all comes down, I think, sa first of all, sa knowledge within the community, knowledge about the sneakers, the sneakers world, knowledge din about sa pag-release ni Nike for example or ng brands
Right.
ng mga sneakers ng mga new versions. Pero I think marami pong
Actually,
pwedeng
Jenny,
bagay na kailangang i-consider dito.
yeah. Actually, if I may qualify it a bit further, right? What you see here na parang asset class isn't really new, 'di ba? It's just taking a different form now. Kasi you can
Mm.
see it before. For example, our parents, 'di ba? Our parents were um super into jewelry, 'di ba?
Yeah, jewelry, exactly.
Yeah, they were super into jewelry, and so that's what they really liked buying before, and that's what they kept as investments, one way or another. But what we're seeing now is that this new generation, the younger generation, um, they're treating this as their new jewelry. So, yun, it's
Mm.
not really new. It's more of it's
Yeah,
taking form lang in another.
a new form.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yung mga jewelry actually may ibang jewelry dito yung nanay ko na actually galing pa sa lola ko na ang
yeah,
tagal naming years na nung kinikip nila and maybe nga nag-appreciate na ng madami yung value nito. So I think ganun din when it comes to sneakers, you can keep it for a long time and maybe after a long time mag-appreciate na yung kanyang price based nga sa maybe sa limited supply or sa demand. Maybe baka biglang sumikat si Jordan for example pa ng ng mountains ng maraming magnitude so aangat palalo yung price niya.
right, right.
Yeah, so let's go naman sa ano no. So after making the platform, after making Supafaya, actually recently you joined Founders Launchpad. It's one of the newest accelerator programs sa Pilipinas. Can you share firstly how did you know about the program? And second, what did you experience dito sa program na to? And like what did you learn? How did they help you? And third, kamusta ang demo day? So kamusta ang pag-pitch?
Right. So how I found out about Founders Launchpad, pretty much the same way as everyone else did. I found it lang through the startup PH Facebook group. Someone posted, I forgot who, but someone posted, and I guess that's where I sent the application. I wasn't expecting much. Honestly, I didn't even expect to get in. But yun yeah, Destiny had other plans, and so we were able to get in. And then in terms of the program itself, I guess what I could definitely say was different, or what really helped us is I think founders already know this, and maybe um, I'll put it in an analogy, right, on how an incubator or accelerator could help. So Reid Hoffman always says, diba, na parang building a startup is like jumping off a cliff and then building a rocket on the way down, right? Um, as an outsider from the startup, as an outsider before you start startup, you'd think na yung phrase na yun is based lang on the risk appetite or yung bravery mo or yung will mo to actually commit to the work, diba? That's what I thought na parang uh, matapang ako. I can do it. I don't care what anyone else says. I can do it. So I'm willing to take that jump, right? But what they don't tell you is that when you make that jump, sobrang chaos talaga. Parang when you're building the rocket, there's so much debris, so much other pieces out there na hindi talaga fit sa rocket mo, but you're trying to piece it
Mm.
together, right? It doesn't fit your rocket. Sometimes, ano siya, it could be detrimental to your rocket. It could cause it to explode. Pero you're trying to fit it in. So while you're falling down, you're actually, there are no like instructions or anything. You don't know which pieces fit together. So what Founders Launchpad really does is help you, is they give you some parts to build your baby rocket. So they build your mini rocket and they give you an instruction. As to how other people did it back then. So, yun nga, from an outsider's perspective, it may seem na parang, oh, they're taking like 10% or like they're taking a good amount of my company. But I don't think people should look at it that way kasi the value talaga that incubators or accelerators bring is super, super helpful when it comes to the building a startup. And I guess the biggest value, and ito, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it anymore. Guys, to all the people who are listening, the biggest value talaga na you can get out of this is yung the founders that you're gonna be building with. Kasi during the incubator, the accelerator, um, I had the best opportunity, the greatest opportunity to be with some of the best founders in the country talaga. And it's a really different perspective when um, there are other people like you who are even better than you, and you're just in this great position wherein you're just soaking all the information, soaking all the learnings. And to be honest with you, some of the best learnings that I got wasn't even from the accelerator itself or from the speakers, but from the founders mismo within the accelerator. So, you know, with that talaga, I think for those who are listening, don't join for the money, don't join for the prestige, join for the connections and the founders that you're really gonna build it with because it's really, really different talaga.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, si Founders Launchpad ano, so ang very first cohort niya just this year, 2023. And then there are six startups in this cohort. And actually I interviewed already five of you. So may isa lang ako hindi na-interview. And actually nasabi nga nila na for example, actually two of them they actually are customers of each other. Ay, hindi customers pero parang they work together. They 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 synergize kumbaga yung kailangan ng isang startup ay nandun sa isang startup and they actually grow together kasi they can communicate and they can kumbaga they form a partnership there ano. So it's true ano na joining this kind of programs you also learn from the cohort itself. So masaya din na parang merong class, parang merong group, may sama-sama kayo na kumbaga nagbi-build. How about the demo day? Kamusta ang demo day? And then when you were in the demo day, parang what really was on your mind? Parang are you looking for investors ba or are you looking to kumbaga widen the reach of the marketplace? How did you see that day?
Yeah, well, for Supafaya was a bit different because for us, we already had investors even prior to joining the accelerator.
Mm.
Um, I guess the demo day was a culmination na lang of everything that you've really worked hard for. And to be honest with you, for me, it was super scary. Kasi, like, I mean, you're giving a pitch to, like, I think 300 different people na who are all smart in their own industries and they can all see what you're working on. And I mean, your thought talaga as a startup founder is like, oh, um, I'm doing something wrong. I mean, I'm not doing as well as everybody else. Um, but for me, it was a way na lang to really culminate and like be proud of what I worked on and what we worked on as a team. And so um, actually, in demo day nga, nagka-error pa yung presentation. So I had to really present from basically
Oh.
from voice. It was a bit I mean, it's easy to get distracted pagka ganun. But I guess what I planned then that time was to really try to relay as much information as I can during that time.
Yeah, and it's like a showcase nga ano, showcase of what you became from the accelerator program and showcase itself of Supafaya as something that you can offer to the Filipino people or to the market. Yeah, so future plans. So what do you plan ahead for Supafaya? So you mentioned na maybe aside from sneakers, you will also expand to other categories of collectibles. So meron bang mga hints dyan or mga ano pa ibang collectibles ang pwede kayang what do you think no na pwede kayang i-trade or i-invest kumbaga especially with the help of the Supafaya platform. So ano ba ang mga dapat namin abangan kay Supafaya?
Right. So one of our next biggest features actually is yun nga, IPOs, right? We're a stock market for things. I think it's time now we really act like a stock market for things. So the idea with this is parang OpenSea, but for physical things. So
Mm.
um, if you're a digital artist or if you're an artist mismo, reach out to us. We already have a lineup of different group of artists and clothing lines and um, different apparel. We're going to be IPOing them the coming months. So if there are other artists out there who are interested, I mean, you already have your digital aspect, right? Why not produce the physical aspect with Supafaya? So yun yung next namin. Mainly the IPO portion of the stock market.
And yeah, now that you said it, no, maybe mag-share lang ako ng idea kasi hindi lang naman sneakers nga limited edition apparel or limited edition cups. So, pwede rin palang ganito yung as long as collectibles and as long as kumbaga same dynamics dun sa kumbaga sneakers na that kind of collectibles ay pwede ngang kumbaga i-trade and i-invest dito sa platform ni Supafaya. So, yeah, maraming salamat Owen for this conversation. And by the way, if our listeners want to know more about Supafaya or maybe they want to check out the platform, maybe they want to go to the website, so maybe you can share yung website or maybe some of the ways where they can contact you or where they can send you a message if they want to talk with you, if they want to learn more.
Yeah, so if you're looking for sneakers or any other collectibles, you can visit our website. It's at www.supafaya.com. If you're interested in joining Founders Launchpad, have suggestions with regards to the website, or want to join Supafaya, then my email is always open. It's owen@supafaya.com. Also, if you're a digital artist, if there's any chance that there are artists out there, um, please give me a ping. We'd love to work with you guys. And in general, if you guys just want to talk, you guys can ping me up on WhatsApp as well. So my number is +63 917 545 6259.
I also put those links and those details below. So actually, very interesting itong future itong pagpasok pa ng more digital artists kay Supafaya. Actually, I think it's very interesting and it's also very enriching for the Filipino people kasi ang daming artists truly ng Pilipinas. So this
Yeah.
can actually be a brighter future pa for Supafaya and actually for many many talented Filipino people na mas mabibigyan pa ng opportunity. So maraming salamat Owen for what you're doing and salamat for sharing about Supafaya. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much, Johnny. Appreciate it. Bye, guys.
Salamat.
Thank you very much to our 33 patrons. This episode is super powered by AskDexPH Academy, our official e-learning partner. Get certifications on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and many more. 1 CFO services, bookkeeping and tax, and payroll processing for startups and small businesses. DV Code Technologies, IT solutions specializing in software development, blockchain smart contracts, digital wallets, decentralized applications, and cybersecurity. Tuala, the next evolution of digital trust. Privacy-focused, seamless digital experience for sharing identity information across Web 2 and Web 3 ecosystems. Dbuzz, Web3 microblogging app promoting freedom of speech and content ownership. Benjoy's Food Products, the home of premium bacon ends, tapa and tocino. And Space Cebu, the biggest branch in the Philippines, global co-working space, meeting rooms and private offices for startups, digital nomads, and freelancers. Looking for buy and sell online with Sigurado sellers. NutriCoach, the all-in-one productivity tool for dietitians and nutritionists. And Podify Team, podcast launch, production, editing, and management company, helping to increase podcasters' efficiency. This episode is powered by Uplift Code Camp, SeriousMD, Board Prep, Pareto Consulting, Zayls, and Packetworx. Please support the podcast through the links in the description.